meeting. In consideration of those and for doing business here, would you please silence your phones? Usually what I do is I leave mine in the car, so mine is silenced. For those who would like to speak tonight, we do have speaker cards. Period. So could do a roll call. It looks like everyone's present. We have a full quorum for you this evening. Pledge of Allegiance. Greg, you're going to leave us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Please stand. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, thank you. Does anybody want to reorder the agenda or add anything to the agenda? Staff have anything? No? No? Okay, moving right along, we have a public comment period. Open the public comment period, and we'll invite members of the public to address the legislative body. Speakers are limited to 3 minutes, speaking once both on and off agenda items. And I do have one public comment card from Crystal Miranda. So Crystal, would you please come up and...
Thank you. I appreciate this opportunity. Good evening. My name is Crystal. I'm actually a new resident to Glendora, and I've been really falling in love with the city. But when I received my first water bill, I was actually very surprised, and this is why I'm here today. My actual water usage was only $11 on my first bill. We were brand new. But my actual bill was $373. So I saw a line item on there, and it said it was a meter connection charge. So I assume that's the first time I'm a new customer connecting my service. However, when I received my next bill, my usage was still low, $23.40, but my total bill was still $333. The meter connection charge appeared again. It was $264, and when I called the billing, I was told that this is a monthly flat rate and there's nothing I can do about that charge. So I was thinking, well, like, how can this be? How can my bill be 1,100% higher than my usage? So I didn't think it was accurate. Like, how could there be such a dramatic disparity between my usage and my cost? So I kept thinking again that this can't be correct, and which is why I'm bringing it to you all today. I do also have an additional charge on my bill for an elevation zone D. You might know what that means. I do not. Except for probably the elevation part. But even that is 3 times the rate of my consumption rate. I understand that in theory, the theory behind the elevation charge, but the fact that it costs 3 times more to deliver my water than the actual water itself seems like it's out of proportion. And then just like for my current bill, for example, now we're there more consistently. So my current bill is $430. But my consumption, again, is still only $55. So my question to the council today, I have 3. One is, can you explain what the monthly meter connection charge actually pays for and provide the city council's resolution that establishes this specific fee amount so that I can understand it? 2, how does the council justify a rate structure where fixed charges so drastically exceed the cost of water usage and then effectively penalizing low water users like myself? And 3, if this is correct and there's no issue with my bill, what can be done to review and reform this structure for me and other residents of Glendora?
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you. I don't know what the process is. I've never, ever done this before. But every time I get my bill, I'm like, when is that meeting?
Well, generally during the public comment period, we receive public comment period. We don't really respond to public comments. But fortunately, you have the experts here. Bill is the Public Works Director, and maybe you can get together with him after the meeting. There are some quick, simple answers to your questions.
Okay,
So,
sounds good.
Thank you. Thank
Thank
you for
you.
coming.
Also, just for clarity, you had mentioned about the council. I don't know, this isn't a city council meeting, it's the Water Commission. I don't know if you're aware of that. Just for clarity.
Yeah, I don't
Okay.
know how it all works here. I was looking at my bill and I've seen the council. I actually stumbled upon your Zoom meeting and there's really great information on there. I think you guys are doing a review and switched my thinking because I'm like, if I'm paying $400, I'm gonna use all the water. Because I'm gonna get my money's worth, right?
Yeah, right.
And then luckily I heard you and I realized, okay, this is something we're actually trying to, so I'll do my part.
Yeah.
But
I-
understand, but this is how I came here, so I don't know my process. I wrote billing says there's nothing you can do. I'm saying, what can I do?
Oh, this is a great forum to get involved, so great. Thanks for coming. Oh, you're not catching me. Okay, great. Thank you. So Bill, you'll get in touch with her and.
Yes, we will.
Okay,
Yes, thank you.
Great. Thank you. I don't see any other members of the public. Any correspondence? No correspondence?
No.
Okay, then. I think then I'll just close the public comment period at this point. Any members have any comments they want to, reports they want to get out before we start with the agenda? Bill, got any?
Just to let you know, Chair, that unfortunately Jason's not feeling well today and won't be here. So for his item, which will be item number 5 under unfinished business, they'll be conducting that presentation for you.
Okay, great. All right, next item is the consent calendar. This is an item where we usually take act on it in one motion unless somebody wants the item pulled for further discussion. Anybody want to pull the minutes for discussion? Okay, so we have a single item. It's the affirm the July 24th, 2025 regular Water Commission meeting minutes. Can I have a motion?
Sure. Motion?
Okay, it's been moved by Pat, seconded by Greg. All those in favor say aye. Are we voting on the machine now?
Are we no longer doing the voice vote too? Okay.
I would if I could. Oh, there we go. Oh, is that what you do?
Yeah, you.
Motion carries 5-0.
Okay, great. So the motion passes 5-0. Okay, moving on to unfinished business, the water supply outlook. We have Water Division Manager Dale Wirt is going to give us a presentation.
Evening, Commissioners. I'm here to report on local water supply outlook for this quarter today. First on the screen is the yearly rainfall comparison. Highlighted in the green is fiscal year 23-24, and orange is 24-25. And for this quarter, you can see in July, in September, we had rain in this quarter. Last year, we did not. And then overall totals for the quarter, we're slightly behind last year, between 191 an inch and 91 tenths, and 1 inch and 66 tenths of an inch for this year. The update on that, though, is that during October, we did get 2.42 inches over that storm that came through on the 14th and the 15th. Next is reporting on untreated imported water deliveries. Upper San Gabriel Valley Municipal Water District started making deliveries through USG 3 at a flow rate of about 300 CFS. Upper District planned to deliver a total of 160,000 acre feet, and all operations have been stopped as of September 24th due to the golden mussel being found upstream in the distribution system. So in this quarter, as of July 2025, 12,544 acre feet were delivered. As of August 2025, 18,185.7 acre feet were delivered. And Upper District has delivered, out of that total, 160,000, 85,334 acre feet as of September 23rd, before they were shut down. Three Valleys Municipal Water District also plans to deliver 35,000 acre feet in that water year. The deliveries in August, they delivered 220 acre feet through PM 26 to the Little Dalton Spreading Grounds, and 600 acre feet through the San Dimas Spillway Siphon to the San Dimas Wash. No deliveries were made through USG3 or through the San Gabriel Spreading Ground Basin. For September 2025, Three Valleys plan to deliver 185 acre feet through PM 26 Little Dalton Spreading Grounds. There was no deliveries through the San Dimas Spillway Siphon to the San Dimas Wash, and no deliveries were made through San Gabriel Spreading Grounds or USG3. And also, again, as highlighted, as of September 24th, all deliveries have been halted due to the golden mussel being detected upstreams in the distribution systems. Finally, for the untreated water, San Gabriel Valley Water District. During the month of August 2025, San Gabriel Valley District delivered 268 acre feet to the San Gabriel Canyon Spreading Ground Basin and 1,560 acre feet to the San Gabriel Canyon Canal. And then during September, San Gabriel District delivered an estimated 535 acre feet to the San Dimas Wash and about 160 acre feet to the San Gabriel Canyon Spreading Ground, Basin 1.
Can I jump in real quick? Were the slides supposed to be,
Yeah.
we were only seeing the first slide.
That was my fault.
Oh, okay, just want to be sure. Because we're all,
I have to get used to using the screen. The screen used to be behind you, it was easier, so that was my fault. I apologize. So these are pictures of the dams, and they're from, on the left is July of 2025, and on the right is October. This is Morris Dam. Water levels seem to be about the same, with not too much change. That is the San Gabriel Dam. That is the one that's currently being cleaned out and work being done in the dam itself. They're hoping to work through October, should be wound up by November, and the county does plan to come back next year and finish the work. That's USG3. Again, not much to see there, but I thought I would post that just as a photo of what the current conditions are. So for California, Colorado projects rain and snowpack, there is a correction. That would be as of September 30th, not June 30th, 2025. The snowpack in the Sierra peaked April 4th of 2025, and the Colorado River Basin snow peaked on April 9th and is now below measurable levels. Hopefully that will change in our next meeting. Lake Powell, at that time, storage was at 30%. Currently, it's gone down 1%, it's at 29%. Lake Mead storage was at 31%. There's been no change to that. California system storage overall at about 65.47% average as of September 30th. As of the 21st of October, it's right around 65. And the state project allocation was set on April 29th at 50% and has not changed. Now for the San Gabriel Basin Key Well information. As of October 3rd, the Baldwin Park Key Well groundwater elevation was 250.3 feet. And on June 27th, 2025, the Key Well measured 246.6 feet. That's an increase of over 3.7 feet over a 3-month period. And an update as of October 17th, the Key Well was measured at 249.5, which is a negative of 2.9 feet over that time period. Lenora Basin well levels for 8 and 11 in the first quarter. Well, 8 static levels maintained pretty much the same. July was 56.6, August was 56.8, and September was 51.4. Well, as well 11 is also very stable. 305 for July, 306 for August, and 304 for September. Well, production, also very little change except through August and September. Fiscal year 2023-24 is in green. Fiscal year 24-25 is in orange. Production value is pretty close. For 2023-24, for July was 1,070.6, and then 2024-25 was 1,069.9. And then in the 2 months where we have slight differentials, which was August and September, August in 2023-24 was 1132.5, and then for this fiscal year, 1120.1, a difference of about 1%, let's just say. And then September, we had 1,035.6 acre feet, and then we had 1,011.8 acre feet, which is a difference between the 2 years of about 2.25%. Treated water purchases, as you can see, we've had through this fiscal year 25-26, we've had no treated water purchases based on the abundant availability of water in the basin. You guys have asked for the updates on the PM26 connection, and these are the updates for this quarter. Spreading for the Dalton Wash. Current planned spreading was April 1st to December 31st. A total of 789.1 acre feet has been spread so far as of September 30th. Three Valleys had requested a delivery up to 4,500 acre feet of untreated water into the Little Dalton spreading grounds through PM26. However, this has also been affected by the finding of golden mussel villagers upstream, and operations have ceased as of September 24th, 2025. This is just a brief update again on the water project and the golden mussels. Working on a regional control plan, all the agencies, Upper Water, Main Basin Water Master, San Gabriel Valley, MWD, Three Valleys MWD are also coordinated on mitigation control plans and measures for the receiving bodies and of LA County facilities. MWD or Metropolitan's current actions as of October 2025, Metropolitan is requesting its board to amend the CIP for upcoming fiscal years. Funds include mussel mitigation and control at the Metropolitan facilities. Also an increase of $500,000 in operating equipment budget for equipment control for mussel growth. That is the end of my report for water supply. I ask that the commission receive and file the water supply outlook update, and I'm available for any questions you might have.
Great, thanks, Dale. Any questions?
I do. Dale, how are they going to mitigate the mussels? What is the method for doing that?
Currently, there are several items on the table, and if you want, we can get you some more direct information after the meeting. Yep.
Justin?
Is it too early to tell how long we expect this shutdown?
I haven't heard of anything about it time-wise, but they are definitely working on through the mitigation process at the moment, both with the agencies and with LA County especially.
Yeah.
Pat?
How is that going to affect our water supply then? Or will it? Or
Short-term doesn't seem to be very effective, but long-term is what they're looking at. So as they work through the mitigation plan, we'll have a better answer for you, because that'll tell us what will come, what will not come. And we'll provide updates, hopefully prior to the next Water Commission meeting.
if that ended up being a more prolonged situation, would we have to purchase water or no? I mean, as far as if you had to take a guess at this moment. It's hard to say.
All depending on many factors, but that is a possibility.
Okay, thank you.
Greg, got anything? Okay. All right, could I have a motion to receive and file the water supply outlook?
I move to do that.
Moved by David,
Second.
seconded by Pat. Please vote. Motion passes 5-0. All right, you going to do the next one too?
I think so.
Well, we're taking it out of order, but we'll do it
Nope.
anyway. No.
You're a, no. I could do that one too if you want.
You tilt that up a little bit, Dale, when you speak, I can't.
I apologize.
Okay, we have the Water Conservation Program update. The Senior Management Analyst Russell Ackerman is going to give us a report. Russ?
Good evening, Chair Hansen and Commissioners. Tonight, I will be presenting the Water Conservation Program update for the first quarter of the new fiscal year. We promoted the Consumer Confidence Report on social media and issued a PSA notifying residents that staff would be conducting water sampling at selected homes as part of the state mandated requirement for lead and copper sampling. We highlighted Smart Irrigation Month, promoting our collaboration with WaterWise Consulting on social media, and also promoting our landscape workshops to encourage efficient outdoor water use. In August, staff participated in the National Night Out event hosted by the Glendora Police Department to engage with community and share water conservation resources. Also in August, we participated in the annual Flashback Car Show hosted by the Chamber of Commerce and the Kiwanis Club, where staff debuted a new engagement activity opportunity teaching residents how to read their water meters and track their water use. In addition to water conservation staff, Water Division production staff was also on hand to provide outreach to the residents. Danielle, our new water conservation officer, helped create this wonderful new brochure promoting our water education program. We'll be sending these out to teachers in mid-November along with other promotional materials. And we're happy to send a copy along to you if you'd like. And we have some exciting news to share. MWD recently held its annual Regional Water Conservation Poster Contest, and staff submitted the top 12 entries from Glendora's local contest held in May. We're thrilled to announce that out of thousands of students throughout Southern California, an 8th grade student from Goddard Middle School has been selected as a winner and will be invited to attend a special student recognition event in December to receive an award at MWD's headquarters. Conservation team participated in the library's Summer Discovery Challenge every Thursday from June through July 26th. At the event, staff hosted a booth sharing water conservation tips and resources for both adults and children, and the winning posters from our local water awareness poster contest were also proudly on display for attendees to enjoy. In September, Green Media Creations led an engaging MWD-funded workshop focusing on teaching participants how to identify and remove turf grasses and then select climate-appropriate plants that thrive in our region. Each attendee received a $25 plant voucher to Glendora Gardens, our local nursery. And we continue to look for new ways to promote our landscape design and professional installation rebate, which is a program where participants in the Metropolitan Turf Removal Program can receive an additional $500 rebate for utilizing a qualified landscape designer to plan their new garden, and an additional $500 to have a licensed landscape contractor install it. So in October, Green Media Creations presented a design seminar workshop to our residents to demonstrate how the design process works for creating drought-resistant gardens, with each of the 25 attendees also receiving a $25 plant voucher to local nurseries and a flyer on our professional landscape services rebate. These workshops are now being funded through the Metropolitan Water District. Moving on to water usage, staff continues to monitor water usage. This slide shows current usage figures to 2024 usage numbers. With the year-to-date comparison, January to September 24 to 25, we are showing an increase of 9.07% in water usage, though, as Dale noted, production is down this quarter. And then also looking at total rainfall comparison from last year to this year up to September, not including October's rain. This year we had nearly half as much rain as we did last year. The fiscal year 24-25 Urban Water Use Objective Reporting Form was released for all water agencies in California on September 30th, 2025 on the state's website. However, the initial announcement did not include the fact that the annual precipitation and evapotranspiration data was not yet available until the end of October. As a result, we do not have an updated urban water use target to present tonight. Nonetheless, if a water supplier is expected to exceed the standard by 30% by 2040, an alternative compliance pathway requires a water supplier to reduce its per capita water use by an average of 2% per year, as shown by data from the reporting year and the immediate preceding 2 years, starting from its average per capita annual water use for fiscal years 24, 25, and 26. In addition, the supplier must verify adherence to the G480 Water Conservation and Efficiency Program Operation and Management Standard, which is established by the American Water Works Association and administered by the Alliance for Water Efficiency, and the supplier must achieve certification. Then the supplier must develop and post on its website a plan that is designed to meet the urban water use objective by June 30th, 2041. The plan must demonstrate that the supplier has analyzed the data used to calculate its urban water use objective, including variances and special landscape areas. The plan must also include efforts to increase support for disadvantaged communities, leverage regional and local partnerships to support the installation and maintenance of climate-ready landscapes, and keep trees healthy. Staff are developing this plan and will be bringing it before the commission next year. In August, City Council approved the Memorandum of Understanding with Three Valleys Municipal Water District to co-fund a regional water use efficiency dashboard project. The project is a regional initiative with the City of Laverne aimed at enhancing landscape water use efficiency by conducting aerial imagery analysis and land use classifications for all commercial, industrial, institutional, and residential parcels within the City of Glendora's service area. The project will also include a regional landscape analysis to help identify non-functional turf grass areas. And this dashboard will provide data used to prepare not only the urban water use objective report that we submit to the state every year, but also assist in the development of the aforementioned plan. Three Valleys Municipal Water District is also serving as the lead agency in the development of the Regional Urban Water Management Plan on behalf of its 6 member agencies, including the City of Glendora. Staff is currently working with Three Valley staff to provide the necessary data for plan development. In April of next year, a finalized draft will be presented to the Commission. Staff continues to promote our co-funding partnership with the Metropolitan Water District through the Residential Turf Replacement Program and Water Efficient Device Rebate Program. The City of Glendora is contributing an additional $1 per square foot on top of MWD's $3 per square foot to replace existing turf grass with drought-tolerant landscaping. Participants may also receive an additional extra $100 per tree for up to 5 trees as part of this program. The city also provides match funding for water-efficient devices that are funded through the SoCal Water Smart program to further support conservation efforts. The city's non-functional turf removal program concluded on June 30th, 2025. However, commercial property owners are still eligible to apply for the updated Metropolitan Water District Commercial Turf Rebate Program, which now offers incentives of up to $7 per square foot for up to 50,000 square feet for commercial properties and 200,000 square feet for public properties like schools. This offers commercial CII property owners an impressive incentive to remove turf grass. We're actually sending a bill insert out very soon to promote both the residential program and also the CII funding program. This concludes my presentation. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Okay, we have any questions? Greg? Pat?
Just one question on the WaterWise and the folks taking advantage of the rebates. I know in the past you guys have had charts on how that activity is going. How's it been the last 3 months or 6 months as far as participation?
Participation, well, with WaterWise has been generally good. That's for turf removal, it's been very low. It was the summer, wasn't a good time to take out your plants and replace them. So we kind of expect that. We hope to see that pick up this fall. That's part of the marketing with getting the workshops out in the fall. This is planting season for California natives. So we kind of go with the flow, and our numbers usually reflect that.
But the WaterWise, as far as them coming out and evaluating residences and so forth, that's still
That's
pretty
still going
active?
strong because of that's an evaluation survey of water use, but also leak repair, detection, installation of weather-based irrigation controllers. There's additional benefits that particular program offers that folks still find very enticing. So we're certainly going to continue that program, and I think once they see how easy it is to actually go through the process, then it will hopefully spread word of mouth as well.
Will you guys keep promoting it? I know you guys have in the past. Will you guys keep promoting it just the various ways?
Yes.
Good. And thank you.
David?
Russ, have we done an assessment of what the impact of the urban water use goal for Glendora will be of our freshly minted new urban development plan that's mandating higher density housing in Glendora, particularly around the metro station? Will it increase the goal because of the increased number of people here consuming water, or will it decrease it because of the decreased amount of land needing irrigation?
Okay, so the short answer to that is if it increases our population, then that will increase our urban water use, water budget, so to speak. And also, I mean, a reduction of outdoor water use will contribute to that as well. So increasing numbers of population will be factored into the urban water use objective target and be accounted for, so to speak. But that won't usually take effect till like the year after.
Make sure I understand, if we have more people here, do we get a larger allocation for the amount of water that we can use?
Yes.
And then if they're put into high-density housing that has less irrigatable land, that will also decrease. That will decrease the size of the reduction that we have to achieve. Is that?
Yes.
Okay. So from that standpoint, getting the higher density housing in here would be an advantage to us as far as our allocation for water,
Well, if
which
we.
seems a little counterintuitive, but
Yeah, it's still water use, but it's kind of how you dice it up. But, if there's I think the population component is reflective of the state's housing mandates and realizing there will be higher populations in certain urban areas, and that should be accounted for in the urban water use objective.
all right, the last question maybe is for Dale, because this will also impact the demand on our distribution system. And I wonder if we've done an assessment based on the plan of what that will be. Higher volumes, more piping, heavier duty things would be required.
Is your question specific to the station area vision plan?
Yeah, but it doesn't affect just, it affects primarily the mile diameter around the station, but it also affects areas around the hospital and the city of Glendora itself.
Yeah, so as far as that goes, understanding the station area vision plan is just that, it's a vision plan. So we have not gone through the process of evaluating if someone were to develop that, the impacts it would have. But as those projects come in or submitted by developers and goes through that process, then we would evaluate it. But I think it's a little bit early in the process to try and determine what that could look like when we really don't have any plans available at this point. Again, it was just a vision plan for future, what the future development could be.
Understood, yeah.
Yeah,
And I'm sure it will take quite a while for that to unfold anyway.
most likely, yes.
All right, thank you.
Justin?
Conservation budget's about 600,000, correct? And so how are we doing in terms of, giving out these rebates and outreach and all that in terms of budget?
In terms of budget, with the new fiscal year, we've had a very minimal impact on our budget, but we have money that's set aside for our co-funding programs. We have money that's set aside for the WaterWise consulting program, and then we have different, these plans that are being developed, we have money set aside for that. So all that money has technically been allocated and accounted for, but hasn't been spent yet.
Good.
Okay, that it? Could I have a motion to receive and file the Water Conservation Program update?
I'll motion.
Moved by Dave, or
Greg.
moved by Greg,
I'll second that.
seconded by David. Okay, let's all vote. Motion passes 5-0. Thanks, Russ.
Thank you.
Okay, item number 5 is the fiscal year 25-26 water distribution update for the first quarter. And Water Division Manager Dale Wirt is going to give us a report.
Thank you again, Commissioners. I'm here to present to you the 25-26 water distribution update for the first quarter. Up on the screen, what you say there is what you see there is a 3-year first quarter comparison in general leaks. I know there were some questions about being more specific. I'll get that to in the next few slides. But as you can see, for the months of July, August, and September, over the last 3 years, there's been a steady reduction. And by reviewing some of our current records, we attribute most of that to the CIP projects where we're happening in some of the worst areas. So we don't not consistently be responding to those particular areas, as well as being able to be on top of those before they happen. Number 2 is also a 3-year leak comparison, but this time by type. These are the 3 types that we currently track in our GIS system. We're currently working with our GIS vendor to increase those to be more specific, also including after hours and the emergency questions you asked us. So if we look at these, green is 2023, orange is 2024, and 2025 is in that yellow color. Mains have decreased, as well as service leaks, but not as much. Same as hydrants. Hydrants went from 6 to 2 over the last 2 years. Water mains show the most significant decrease. First quarter of 2023, we had 94 main breaks, 26 service leaks, and 6 fire hydrants. 2024, 2025, we had 88 main breaks, 24 service leaks, and 2 fire hydrants. 2025, 2026, currently we show 66 main breaks as of September, 21 service leaks, and 2 fire hydrants. We're making the changes to help track us over the next years with our GIS. I'm also that you brought up about emergency and after hours. So the next set of slides are just some of examples of how emergencies come up. They're not really dictated by time. It's just severity, location, impact to the water system, impact to the community. All those are things that we use to make those judgment calls. So here, this is 2 leaks that were called out an emergency. As you can see on the left, plenty of water coming out. That is Glendora Avenue. That's a 4-lane highway. This is another set of work at night. If you look carefully, you can see the silt buildup. That's just telling us that there's plenty of material coming out of the ground. This is a residential area. Again, on the left is in the daytime. Not so much water, a lot of silt, whereas the one on the right is in the evening time and a lot more water coming out. This is a occurrence that we have in some of our areas. We have lines that cross through private property. This one happens to be leaking on the side of this property between the easement. Again, we have to make the decision based on location, severity, and what the impacts are. Also, the one on the left was in a shopping center down here on Grand. Obviously, you can see a lot of debris, a lot of water. And the one on the right is a hit fire hydrant, as an example. Just to bring up a couple of things on hit hydrant, location, damage to property, and also specific location. If you look real careful at the top of that stream, we also have Edison involved in this one. Anytime water is at or near Edison lines, it may extend, we may have to extend a shutdown or a throttle in order to pull that down in order to deal with it. So we take a lot of stuff into consideration when we label it an emergency. Next on the list is their Glendora Avenue project you guys may have heard of. This is an 18-inch transmission line that heads south through town, turns to 24 to 18, right about Colorado Boulevard and Glendora. This was below baseline. The picture on the left is the crew showing up in the evening. Picture on the right is eventually after they were able to get the top layer removed. We call that boiling, so the leak below it is boiling. Picture on the left is a small pinhole. You can see that, kind of looks like a shadow, but that's actually a stream of water. If you notice the ratchet strap, there's a golf ball size hole in there that we've plugged and put the ratchet strap on to hold it. Due to the condition that we found the pipe in, we had to put a clamp on it temporarily, which you can see on the right-hand side. It is dry, but this leaked overnight. We had to have a welder and some material brought in to make the necessary repairs. This is them, again, welding a top plate on top of that water main to seal up the multiple holes in the top. And the photo on the right is the finished product with the pipe being completely cleaned, rewrapped in mesh, and reconcreted. During this work, we had a valve that broke that helped provide water distribution from one of our reservoirs. That's a picture of it. We tried to make repairs on the mechanical side of that valve, but we were unable to, so we had needed to replace it. Photo on the left is all the prep work that was done prior to cutting in and removing the valve. Picture in the center is the installation of the 18-inch butterfly valve that was changed. A picture on the right is the broken butterfly valve, showing you that the valve was broken closed. This is the finished product. Right before they wrapped the mesh and reconcrete it, all of that was turned on and service restored to the reservoir. These are typical hydrant leaks. It was brought up before. Photo on the right is a typical hydrant on a corner and typical installation. Hydrant in the center. It shows you a close-up look. If you look close, you can see those bolts are hollow. Those are designed to break away when a car strikes it. The spool below it also has a groove in the center, which will be underground. So if the bolts fail, the groove is there to be secondary backup and also break. That protects everything underneath it. On the left-hand side, on the upper side, if you notice below the hydrant, there looks like a giant chrome disc. That is a type of check valve. And what happens is once that hydrant is hit, that check valve will close and you won't get those large streams of water. It does two things. It prevents the water loss, also prevents property damage. We install those in what we call our high hit areas. There are certain areas of town where we get a lot of trucks and speed vehicles. Those tendency to be big intersections tend to be the areas, and some areas around some of the local commercial buildings. The hydrant in the bottom, I'm also bringing up, we do hydrant maintenance on an annual basis. This year we actually went through, and I mentioned this before, our high fire areas, everything above at Sierra Madre Boulevard and above, and we go through those. And even when we find inoperable stems, bad threads, any type of things on these fire hydrants, they'll get replaced as well. That is it.
All right, thanks, Dale.
Thank you very much, sir.
Justin?
Thank you for that report. It was really great to see the bar chart with the leaks and the amount going down. I'm curious though for things like the fire hydrant. So when there's an emergency repair, does that get counted on the bar chart that was shown previously with the leak? So there are two for this year thus far. So
Yeah.
when it gets hit by a car, does that count as one?
Those two hydrants there for this year are not necessarily hit hydrants. Those will be hydrant leaks of some sort, either on the berry or the line. Again, we're going back and we're having the GIS form changed so that we can highlight emergencies versus what we would call routine. And then we would have after hours. So you could actually have an after hours emergency or just an after hours routine call. So hopefully by the next time we come back, we present that, we'll be able to show you the difference between those.
Okay, but for now, the bar chart that was shown first doesn't include emergency repair.
Not for this year, I can tell you, there's not enough on there.
Okay,
So for the previous years, I believe it was all put into one.
I see.
So this, in October, we're starting to change the form, so it's gonna come out differently. Obviously, we're at the end of the quarter, the information doesn't come up.
Okay, thanks. Looking forward to that.
No worries.
Yep.
Dale, last quarter, that emergency showed a doubling, and we were expecting a report on why the doubling. So now we don't have the emergency reports. I'm a little confused with the response from last commission meeting.
They were all labeled as emergency after hours, and I believe the crux was to try to separate those. And just based on the way we currently track that, we were unable to separate those two.
And if I can just add to Dale's report, one of the things that we did, staff did an evaluation. We actually looked at it, and with the new system, with the way we're evaluating or tracking with the new work order system, we weren't necessarily capturing what was defined as an emergency. It was just after hours. And like Dale mentioned, one of the things we were talking about and staff was bringing me up to speed on was the act of what an emergency is versus after hours. After hours can be something that a customer calls and they have a leak and we need to shut their meter off. So those are considered leaks. And the same thing is that our system didn't necessarily have that ability to delineate between the types. So we had the ability for an after hour, but we couldn't define, like when we were going back to the record. So that's one of the things that, and Dale's been spearheading that effort, is bringing on this new system with the GIS. It's integrating not only the maps of our water system, but also all of our work orders and pictures and the field data that the operators and the distribution staff are collecting. So we'll be able to kind of be able to define that. But that was another thing that we did, which was actually a really good effort on staff's part to kind of understand what is a leak. And there's a couple factors to that. That's the severity as far as water loss, and then also the damage, whether it's damaging the road, damaging property, and then ultimately how long, shortening up that time and response. So we actually are working with Jason and his team on defining that a little bit more, giving them some tools so that they can do that assessment. I think one of the things that we kind of realize is that getting some visual tools so that we can really identify what a flow is. Because unfortunately, when you have a leak, you don't have that meter flowing on the pipe. So you can't really tell, and it's a visual. So Dale and Jason and the guys are coming up with ways to kind of uniform that so we can capture that information. That'll definitely help on the conservation with Russell. It's all kind of intertwined. So, yeah.
So, thanks for that explanation. So with the decline in repairs that we showed on that graph, and we used to see budget information. We had not seen budget information in a while. I think that was an ask from the commission as well. Do the corresponding budget reflect the decreases in emergency services, which obviously would save the city money?
So when it comes to those services, we have an amount that we program into the budget every year based on those emergency services. If we have less emergency services, less contractor response, then that money stays within the water division and can be redistributed for some of our capital projects or other things like that. So yes, if we see reduction, there is a savings, then we could redistribute that to other things that we want to do within the district.
That's great. It'd be nice to see transparency on this
Yeah.
to show that.
Absolutely, and you brought up some really good questions at the last commission meeting, and we've really been working to try and define that. The first thing we did was to try and define exactly what an emergency is. I think we got a lot of after-hours customer calls and emergency kind of lumped together, and I don't think it portrayed a real clear picture of what we were doing. And I think, to Dale's point, a lot of the capital investments that we've made the last few years to replace some of those damaged water mains has shut those down and starting to show. So
great.
it's really challenged us to look at our data a little bit differently and say, okay, let's break these things out and provide better data. So I'm confident over the next few months as we continue to record this, we'll have better data for you, and we are working on the budget side as well.
My second question, does the city aggressively subrogate on accidents for, damages to water meters or whatnot?
Yes, on any type of city property, we will research that. We work with PD closely on those.
And we'll subrogate that to the claimant's insurance and,
Yes, we do.
Yep.
Yeah, whether it's a water issue, traffic signals, or any other city property that might be damaged, we work with Los Angeles County as well, our signal maintenance contractors. So yeah, that's something we're very aggressive in trying to get that.
that's good to hear.
back.
Some of the main intersections you said that routinely get broken, do we have cameras at those So do we have a lot of drive-offs, I would imagine?
In some cases, but typically, maybe with some of the more commercial trucks, you might, but a lot of the cars that we've seen lately that have hit some of those at speed, it's not as quick for them to drive away. And to the camera, we don't have specific cameras at intersections for capturing that, but the police department does have a full series of flock cameras around the city, so they have a pretty good ring. So while that camera may not be at the exact intersection, they're able to go back and review that video data and look for that. Yeah, exactly.
Pat?
Thank you. So I had a similar question to what Greg was asking as far as the leaks. So I've been on the commission for a couple of years now, whatever it's been. I know in the beginning we had an emergency vote. I think I brought this up last time. We had an emergency vote that they needed extra budget for third-party, contractor services because there were so many leaks. And now we've seen all that going down, which is great. So aside from just the idea that fewer leaks leads to savings, or not really savings, but cost avoidances, if you want to put it that way, have you guys been able to track it? Or could we possibly see at some point a spend of 1 year, this is what we were spending, not just for third-party services, but also if you can associate a cost within the city, personnel itself, this is what it costs for these leaks this year, and the associated costs are going down. And where I'm going with that is with the CIP replacing a bunch of main lines and everything else that's in it, the idea of that, correct me if I'm wrong, is that it would prevent leaks and blowouts and everything else, on those older pipes, right? So I think it would also be nice to be able to see, look at all the work that we're doing, whether it's a CIP thing or whether it's an emergency or a leak or whatever, it is leading to fewer costs because those incidences are going down, which could then also help to justify, not only the work that the team is doing, but also the CIP and whatever it may be is contributing to these cost avoidances, because look how much fewer we're spending now than we used to in past years. And again, whatever the reason is for those going down, it'd be, I think, nice to see what those numbers are, if you can associate a
Yeah.
cost. Again, I know with your third-party contractors, you have that cost, but within the city, if you have a way of associating a cost with attending to a leak, repair, whatever it may be.
Yeah, no, we can definitely do that. One of the things is I'm kind of getting up to speed in our operation, and I definitely want to temper the anticipation that we're getting to a point where the system's perfect or ideal. One of the things is we're maintaining, because if you take it in the sense that the system is continuing to get older, so as we're progressively taking care of the CIPs, doing the repairs, some of the repairs are a little bit like, we're not quantifying that either, that we're having to replace small sections of pipe. We're putting clamps right next to each other. There are some hot spots. And one of the things that we're going to be doing since I've come aboard is looking at the master plan that we did 2 years ago and reevaluating the efforts that staff did with our city engineer to evaluate what we call the hot spots, or those primary or prioritized projects. So we'll definitely be able to better understand that, but I definitely want to make sure that the commission understands that we are seeing a decrease, but it's not that we're going to see, cost of material, cost of labor. All of those things are kind of a fine balance. So those numbers are decrease, and we can definitely give more information. I think the budget with the transparency, but just understand that we're doing what we need to do, but we still need more efforts with more capital and stuff like
What
that.
do you mean by we're not going to see the cost of materials and this and that? What do you mean?
I guess what I'm referring to is I don't want the thought to be that we're seeing a drop, so we're kind of going in the right direction. It's still being, I think we have $300 million worth of capital that was identified in the whole master plan, and we, over the next 5 years, are doing 30 million. So I think as the system gets older, we might see that leveling or that kind of plateauing that
Right.
we're kind of at right now, where we're seeing that maintaining, which I think is really CIP's and staff effort. So
What I was referring to is separate from the CIP, though.
Okay.
Is you have, let's call it 100 leaks in a year, whether it's an emergency or not. There's a cost for that, whether it's a third-party contractor or just city personnel taking care of it. And if the next year you only have 85 leaks, I would assume, if there's a cost for that, not necessarily less expensive, it might be more expensive because cost of materials goes up, whatever. I was just talking about showing that progression. If you have leaks this year, 3 years ago, and then fewer and fewer,
Yeah.
if there's a way that you can associate those costs to see, again, we know with inflation and everything else that cost of materials and labor and everything else is going to go up, but it'd be interesting to see what those costs are over the years to say, oh, well, this year, 3 years ago, we spent X to repair leaks, again, of all categories. And over the years, our costs have gone down, or have the costs gone up, meaning we're seeing fewer leaks, but we're not really saving anything, or we're not
Yeah.
really avoiding anything. So I'm just talking about that outside of the budget for the CIP and so forth. I'm just talking about strictly the cost of
O&M.
of repairing the leaks and so forth, not
And we
CIP
can
projects.
definitely, I think that year over year
Yeah.
with a comparison of the leaks to kind of give some context with
Yeah.
what the costs are. We absolutely can provide that to the
Okay,
commission.
because again, just seeing just the numbers of incidences is good,
Yeah.
but the associated costs is where I'm coming
Yeah,
from, would be
okay.
just as good.
One other thing on this report that I'm also gonna have them do is the total leaks per year, because that's just a snapshot of the months. So you're looking at this time period where the leaks are dropping, or maybe you'll have certain months where the leaks are higher. And right now, maybe that's a little askew in my mind, because we're all hearing everybody talk. So I'll have the total put up so we can even track when we're getting to that goalpost that year. Then everybody can look and say, okay, they are going down,
Yeah.
but in certain months. Also, certain times a year, you'll have more leaks just based on how the system acts.
Right.
High volume causes scouring in the mains. That's also a bad thing with these old steel mains. And then now coming into our winter time where everything slows down, the higher pressures, we're only talking 2 to 5 pounds maybe, but that 2 to 5 pounds difference in a main from 1925 is a pretty significant undertaking. So we're going to work with our GIS to better track and give you an idea of like when these leaks are occurring, the types of leaks. Because I think in overall, as we start drilling down for budgetary purposes, those specific things need to be addressed, as well as some of the larger things that we do, like the project that was only maybe 6 months ago, where we relined a transmission line, which cost 100 times more than what we normally do. So we'll work on getting you the information you guys need.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that.
Yep.
And just one last thing, and going back to what David said a while back when Russ was giving his presentation, that whole urban development plan and whatever it's called, I know a little bit about it. I've seen some things about it, and I know we can't speak exactly what's going to happen, so I'm not looking for any hard answers. I was just kind of curious if the city moves to that point where they're going to allow more, dense, residences and so forth and condos or whatever it was. I assume, and please tell me if I'm assuming wrong, would it be part of that plan of, aside from everything else we need to consider, would water availability be part of that? I mean, because, we're talking about, we've been good for the last, year and a half, 2 years of not purchasing water or purchasing very, very little. But we also know 2 or 3 years ago, we had to purchase a lot and it was very expensive. So, I mean, is that part of the criteria
Yeah, no, it definitely is, and
I assume it is, but I just.
that's part of, we, as currently with new development, we're a part of that review process with the planning and building. That comes over to our side of the house. We go through it, actually Dale helps to lead that up. We look at that and we identify if there is deficiencies. If it becomes a larger project, we would then get the water engineering team involved. They would do a full analysis, look at the hydraulics, and identify if there's some deficiencies. And if for whatever reason that project would put that burden on it, that developer, that project would have to identify what those improvements would be to the water system and then ultimately be financially responsible for those.
But then it also comes down to water supply, right? So let's say we have one of
And
those
that's-
built, and a year or two later, we go into an extreme drought like we had a couple years ago.
That's part of it too. There would be capacity fees and capacity charges so that not only are you just responsible for the improvements, but you're also responsible for that burden onto the system.
Interesting.
So everyone has to, so anyone that kind of, it's almost like buying into the system, so to speak.
So anybody at that condo complex or whatever, that burden would be on everyone in that residence? Is that what you're
It
saying?
would ultimately be on the developer. Whoever developed that would have to be responsible for that. Yeah.
All right, very good. Thank you. Thank you for your presentation.
David? You? Oh, okay, nothing new. I would just point out too that the bar charts are great, but they are a little bit askew. The yellow bar chart is for fiscal year 25, 26, and we're only 3 months into 25, 26. So even though it looks less than the prior 2 fiscal years, could shoot up in the next 9 months. So again, I just repeat the fact that Glendora system's old.
No, yeah.
And there's a lot of improvements that need to take place in the system. So, all right, with that, thanks, Dale. We have a motion? Greg
Second.
moved and Pat seconded. Let's vote.
I'll do it in closing comments.
Okay. Huh? Okay, motion passes 5-0 to receive and file the fiscal year 25-26 water distribution update first quarter. Okay, closing comments. Go around the table. Greg?
I have some. Last meeting, I chastised Pat for getting mailed invoices and not getting the email. So suffice it to say, Karma came to me. I had set my billing up to standard payment. So I guess during conversion to the billing system, new billing system, my previous credit card had not been paying my bill for the last few months. So I got a first notice from the mailing system with a $1,700 bill. Like our constituent here, I'm in a house that my water usage is only 10% of my bill. I'm also in the height. I've got a 2-inch line because of the fire sprinklers, but my usage is very low because I take pride in that. In trying to call customer service, I couldn't get through for 2 days on the number. I finally resorted to chat, where I did get a response back, very friendly, and I wanted to make sure that I wasn't getting penalized because the invoice that I received said if I pay by, October 15th, the bill was this, and if I don't pay, it was $300 more. So I was concerned that I hadn't received those penalties before because I'd never got noticed of that. She said that the city had not charged late charges since implementation of the new billing system. So I guess the question I have is, what are we doing to rectify the customer service call line? What are we doing to retroactively, I guess, go back to charging late fees? And really, I should have been stopped service. I hadn't paid. But as I said, I didn't even receive a notice. And because I get my emails, I just didn't pay attention to the past due. But maybe I should start getting mailed invoices. So I was a little concerned with the new billing system. The other concern I had is it used to accept credit cards, and now I had to get my banking information, which I'm always hesitant to doing. I understand it saves the city fees, and there was a fee charged for that, so I get it. But I guess customer service, the notification, and when will we be going back to charging legitimate late fees or cancellations for legitimate SCAFLOs? I'm not legitimate SCAFLO. So that was my first question.
Yeah, no, certainly appreciate that. We'll work with the water billing team, see if we can get those answers. My guess is as far as the late fees, they'll probably be more comfortable reassessing those once they get the bugs worked out of the system, but I will have a conversation with them on Monday and find out where they're at, and we'll make sure that we get you an update on that specifically.
And then going on to the new linked payment system was very complicated. I'm pretty good at that stuff. It was not very intuitive.
Okay.
How to link it up to my bank. I had to sign up for something new and linking and,
Okay.
and you know, with fraud these days, I got a fraud call the other day. I'm always hesitant to give that. So make sure that the city if the city has that information, then it's a protected site, obviously, which is a requirement.
Yes.
But, yeah, that's.
Okay, thank you. That's great feedback. We'll be sure and pass that on. Thank you.
I would just add that I had the same problem with my billing with the auto pay through the checking account. It did not, and I had to come in and write a check for the month in arrears, but I was not charged the late fees.
Okay,
So,
great. Yeah, again, we'll pass it on. So sorry about that. Yeah.
yeah. Pat?
So I conserve in many ways, except paper billing, because that's my reminder. And I get it all the time from my credit cards, my mortgage. You want to do paper bills? No, just send me the bill. Send me the bill, because it's my reminder, right? But even at that, I've had companies that actually don't send it, and I somehow remember it and go, hey, where's your bill? We sent it. Well, I don't have it. So even that isn't a foolproof system, you know, but that's why I do it. So I like getting those bills. Two comments. The last meeting, I believe it was, Bill went through a bunch of the CIP projects, but we don't have anything this month. Is that going to be something we're going to do somewhat regularly, or?
Yes, so we'll have another
Just
update.
even an
in the
overview?
January. Yeah. Just a quick overview, because a number of our projects are still in design phase. There were no significant updates for this quarter, but in January there will be. We have a couple of projects that are pretty close to completion, will be ready to bid. So we'll have another update in January. As those projects become active projects, some of the ones we're working on now are much larger, so that design time is a year to 18 months. There just isn't a lot to tell you that we're still working on the design, but once they become active, then we'll go back to the quarterly updates.
Okay. Yeah, I always enjoyed those updates. With that, would you be able to also give an update on where we stand for the CIP budget for those projects?
Yeah, absolutely.
Whatever the year-to-date
Yep.
number is at that point would be nice to see.
Yeah, absolutely. So for some of those, it will just be what was the budgeted project amount. Again, a lot of those are in design, so you won't see the full cost burden applied to that project yet, because we're going through the design phase. So, but yeah, we can do that.
Okay. And then just one other comment. So we were talking about bills, monthly bills and so forth, and I've seen a lot of comments on various Glendora social media, whatever, that I follow. And the new water rates came out, when was it? When did the new water rates go? It was a while back, right?
Yeah, almost 2 years ago now, I
Okay.
believe, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, I
yeah, so
believe
it's been a
so.
while. So our constituent, she's a new resident, so she has that issue. But my comment was, and it was more rhetorical, many folks who are saying, I got my bill went up a lot, my bill went up a lot. And it's not something I expect you to answer for, but my bill hasn't gone up a lot, and, my water usage is pretty accurate. So, I mean, there's nothing new that's taken place, right? That for residents that have been here for the last 2 years or so, and I don't know what that is. And again, I don't expect anybody here to answer for that, but
It
it's
was a big change on their rates they charged
Back in-
for the higher elevations.
for the higher elevations, right? For the higher elevations, but we're talking 2 years ago, though. And we're talking, I'm saying in recent, very recent, on Instagram, social, Facebook, whatever, there's folks that have Glendora-centric pages, and folks will say, I just got my bill for the last 2 months. Oh my God, it increased X amount. I wasn't even here, I was on vacation. It's those kind of things. We're talking recently, and again, nobody can answer for that, but there's nothing that's happened in the last couple months that.
No, we
would
haven't
cause
changed
that, right?
anything, but I would say if somebody's seen a significant increase like that, it's always best that they reach out to us or reach out to Water Billing so we can take a look at that, make sure they don't have a leak that they're not aware of or something else has changed. So yeah, definitely want them to reach out and we can take a
Okay.
look at that for them.
Okay, all right.
But you have set up the billing for an annual increase to take in the inflation, cost of living, all of that. So there is increases. Now, what they normally do is they have it go into effect in January when water usage is low. And so you don't feel it as much, but, come summer usage,
Yeah.
it can be significant.
How much is that increase? Percentage-wise, or is it
I don't
percent?
remember off the top of my head, I'm sorry.
Okay.
It was less than double digit.
Yeah, I figured that, yeah.
I think it was like 5% or something.
And this was in the last few months, so maybe it was the summer effect of
Yeah.
it. But, okay, anyways, thanks, guys.
Justin? Bill?
Nothing, sir.
Great. Then I will adjourn the meeting at 7:11. All righty.